Welcome everyone. Good to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, final day of the week, and the price is grinding a little bit towards the upside. Interesting start on the lower time frames, very three wavy, but we're gonna observe what the news is gonna do in 30 minutes because we have some news here. 2:30 p.m. Central European time, which is in a couple of seconds, right? So did I say minutes? I'm not sure, but in about 20 seconds, we have some news coming in, and we're gonna cover what happens on the chart. So good to have you all here. Welcome. The reason the 0.618 is on the chart is because it would invalidate the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse like that, and therefore it would increase the probabilities of this being a finished structure. Of course, there's always the potential for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still with a higher 618, but step by step. So yeah, now is the news, and price is gonna react to this. So let's see what happens on the chart while we observe the price action. Kiwi, welcome. Karim, how are you doing? Afshin, Gwendizu, Serega, first time being the first into the stream. Yeah, good to have you here, Kiwi. We just hit the 618 here, so that therefore invalidates a wave 4, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not really something that we like to look at anymore, meaning that if we do make a high here, we're not labeling it preferably as a wave 4, and that means that if we zoom out, we preferably have a finished structure here, like a 5-wave move or a 3-wave move. And if we do move down, this is not a wave 4 anymore, right? So, of course, there's arguably, we're going to keep an eye or take a look at the lower time frames in a second in more detail. But if we want to count an impulse, it has to be something like this in that case. Of course, you can still have higher 5-wave structures, but at least the 618 that I had on my chart just now, Control Z, there we go. That one has been tapped, so yeah, nice start. Gwendy Zoo, hope you had a good nap and feel less tired. I gotta say, before the live stream, so my mom is here, of course my wife as well, because they're gonna put a couple of things from the house in my mom's car, and she's gonna start taking some stuff to their house, their own house. So we have to get rid of all our stuff, of course. And I was on the couch, and yeah, I almost fell asleep. I don't know why I'm so tired, but I still am. Also, Gwendy Zoo, thank you for your message, your comment. I've seen it, and always happy to chat or connect you with my wife as well. Serega, alt streams on Sunday will be interesting. The alt stream, yeah, absolutely. I mean, as Bitcoin moves down, the alts move down as well most of the time. No, Andy, Christian, what's up? Crypto Boer. Is the bottom in? Is the bottom in? Look, we are reaching interesting areas now, of course. The weekly time frame remains bullish as well. But is the bottom in? You can't say that with confidence here. We are in a very strong downtrend, losing level after level after level. Is this the bottom? I mean, there's always the potential. But before talking about a bottom being in, we want to see impulsive structures to the upside first to get more confident and change probabilities, right? So step by step, but I'm going to cover it in this live stream. T. Clapson, how are you doing? Andrew, MT, welcome. Edgaras. Is the most bullish weekly count invalidated? No. It's not invalidated. The invalidation is 49.3K. Welcome to France. Come and see me in Paris. Ah, you live in Paris. My mom is from Paris. Beautiful city. Been to Paris many times, actually. Mirovsky, Kramo, welcome from Germany. Hi from the Netherlands, everyone. Abiyat Sinroy, your body is saying it needs rest and it needs rest. Yeah, I had a good amount of rest before the live stream, so I'm definitely fit enough to do the live stream. I have lots of energy, but before the live stream, like the hour before, I took it very easy, laid on the couch, did nothing except for drinking some water, closing my eyes, and here we are, right? Ready for another stream. And knowing that also later today, I won't be able to upload a video because I'll be with my parents, as I'm going to help my dad to move couches and chairs and other stuff out of my parents' house and moving it tomorrow to my aunt's house. So tomorrow likely there won't be any content, or maybe in the evening, like later in the evening, but I'll be helping my dad. More people from Germany here. Hervorragend. What's the German pronunciation here? I don't know. Vorragend. Nusli, what's up? Guten Tag, Deutschland. Brahim, what's up? How you doing? I have a chart. I think you should say which channel is. That would be probably, if it's Bitcoin related, you can post it in Bitcoin TA. If it's also Elliott Wave related, then Bitcoin, the Elliott Wave channel. Else just general. But make sure to tag me. Mirovsky, I will remember Germany all my life from now on. What are your bets? I don't follow soccer, really, football. So I don't know. And also it's of course not my country, the Netherlands, but Germany, Spain. I mean, I would guess Germany has strong papers, but this is purely vibe. I have watched absolutely zero of the European Cup of like other countries. I've watched a few of the Dutch matches and that's it. So I'm completely clueless. Ben and Chunk, do you see ADA recovering? It's dead or not? I actually covered Cardano in the previous altcoin stream, so you can check that one out. Sarthak, welcome. Shatsi sucked. Oh no. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Netherlands, Turkey. Of course, especially in the Netherlands as well. We're a country that is open to many cultures, including people from the Turkish nationality, which is great, which makes the Netherlands what it is. So it should be an interesting game. And hopefully everyone stays respectful in the country afterwards. QZ World, how are you doing? Perkil, what's up? That's going to be a game today. Spain, Germany should be a banger. Leaning Spain. But it is a poem. I see. Home of the windmills. That is true. That is the Netherlands. Okay, everyone, shall we start? We're going to start. So, by the way, Mark, good to have you here as well. Thanks for joining. We are going to start at minute 14. And we're going to start on the weekly time frame. Because I got a couple of questions about the weekly. As people noticed, I left out this scenario. And there is no other reason to leave this one out, just because I just changed there we go. The only reason I left this one out is because I wanted to keep it simple in the video and only show one scenario, because in both cases you're going to move up. But I'm going to cover all the scenarios weekly to the lower time frames now. 14 minutes into the live stream. Perfect. So let's start. Of course, it's going to be a little summary of the previous stream or the previous video, and then we jump into the lower time frames. So just because of going to France as well the last few days, I don't have any low time frame analysis, so it could be interesting to have a look again at the lower time frames. Okay, Ali Moss, welcome. You made it. Good to have you here, and thanks for joining as well. So let's start. Now, the other bullish scenarios, because again, I got a couple of questions both in Discord as well as in the YouTube comment section about, hey, you know, what happened to this bullish scenario? Is it invalidated? Does it have, like, you know, very low probabilities? What's going on? Now, in both bullish scenarios, right, this one here, just for summary's sake, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 is not yet finished. So inside wave 3, you still look for 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more push in 5. So here you're looking for a 5, 4, 5. So 2 more pushes to the upside. And that's the difference with this one. 1, 2, 3 already finished. 4, 5. One more push to the upside. Now, in both cases, you're going to be looking for price to take the all-time high, right? Here you look for a 5 in green, and here you look for a 5 in yellow. So just for the sake of simplicity, I just decided to leave out this bullish scenario and only talk about this one in the video. The reason why I picked this one is because we had touched the bigger target area for wave 4 with a lower invalidation, right? As long as you don't hit 49.3K though, this scenario is not invalidated. It's just that for the sake of simplicity and also as a content creator, most of the time less is more, right? So instead of showing 2 scenarios that lead to the same outcome, it makes it a lot easier for you as a viewer to just have one scenario where the target box is the biggest, the invalidation is the lowest, and you still look for price to move up anyway to take all-time high. And when price eventually takes all-time high, that is when we can analyze what happens next. Of course, if price does hit 49.3K, this scenario goes out the window. That one is invalidated. And we're going to mainly focus on this impulsive scenario with one more move to the upside in a wave 5, which by itself should be a nice 5-wave impulsive structure. And then we look for a retracement. So I got worrying messages, the impact of the content, but that is the only reason. The reason is simply simplicity. So that's why. So the bullish scenario, of course, a 5-wave impulsive structure, right? Target area between 57.1 and 42.8K. The 0.618 is your invalidation at 37.7K for this scenario, and at least one more push to the upside, right? In this case for a wave 5, in the other bullish scenario shown, you're looking for 2 more pushes, but in both cases, you take the all-time high, and then we'll figure out what happens next, no? Now, inside this wave 4, we then want to count a 3-wave corrective structure. And in my DMs earlier today, I got a screenshot, which I got here because I then searched it myself and screenshotted it a little bit better, which is this. This is from, I don't know if it was, what's this, May, where someone said, yo, nice. We had the diagonal looking for B, 886 touch, C down towards that, 54, 50K area, right? Interesting. We are currently, of course, in this wide line to the downside, right? So we moved up to the 886. Now, for the ones that were here in April and May when we started talking about this scenario, this was also the psychology scenario, right? So the best scenario to fuck around with psychology in the market is to make a high at the 886, which is going to fake out the people looking for a breakout trade because it is so close to the all-time high, it's going to make people buy. Instead, we move down, hitting the stop losses, move below the pivot of A, which didn't happen yet, right? Quick check. Well, of course it did happen. Yo, I'm really tired. Of course, because we're at 54K, yo. Nice one, good. So move below the low of your wave A, which is a minimum target for C. You want wave C to move below wave A. And then eventually look for some proof of support and strength and then continue its way towards the upside. And this is, of course, at the bottom. That's the area where people become scared, where there is fear, where there is pain, where people are selling their bags, right? Where people talk about crypto goes to zero and la-di-la-di-la-di-la-di-la, right? And that is exactly what we want to see, right? That is what we want to see. Everyone at the 886, let's continue. 100K next. What about, So, yeah, great psychology scenario. And currently we are at 55K. We made a low here at 53.6K. Beautiful, Right, so in a bit more detail, this is the exact same scenario. And now it has a yellow color instead of a green color. The 886 taken from the start to the end of your A is touched twice. On many charts, this high took the high on the left for a swing failure pattern and started to move to the downside, right? We now hit the common target for a wave C, which is the area here, 54.6, 50.5K. And the 1.618 is an extension target, 43.9K. Now, the most common target is the area here. The 1.618 still common, but it's level by level. And of course, this is the first area of support that you're going to be looking for with regards to a zigzag structure. The most bearish scenario is an impulse to the downside, lower probabilities compared to bullish scenarios. Bullish scenarios meaning corrective structures. An ABC zigzag is a bullish scenario. Even though we expect downside, we want to see, or we expect, a continuation of the trend at a later stage, because this is a corrective structure, not an impulsive structure. While here, we're looking for wave 1, 2, and then we want to see a big wave 3, which is the wave that we should be in now. Now, interesting is that if we look at the volume is very low on a daily time frame. So if we're looking for wave 3 price action, we want price to move to the downside sharply, right? Acceleration, and we want to see volume moving up. At the moment, the volume is nowhere to be seen, and also the probabilities still are lower for a bearish impulsive scenario to the downside, where instead of a 3-wave ABC and then up, you look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minimum target for 3 would be 43.9K, right? And you want to see volume move up. Preferably here, you take out 38.5K, which is still far away. We're at 55K. Now, the 886 is what significantly reduces probabilities for this scenario, as the 886 is rare for 2, common for a wave B or a wave X, increasing probabilities. This move down is corrective in either C or Y, increasing the probabilities of continuation of the trend on a weekly time frame sooner or later. Now, as mentioned, I don't have a lot of low time frame analysis. I will check my folders here in a second, see if I have anything interesting, but I believe this is all relatively old before I moved was in France earlier this week. But just for completion, we have over here the gap, right? This is a weekly gap, has been touched once, touched twice, second time increases probabilities to fill the gap. We haven't filled it just yet, just missing out, 53K. Also in confluence with a weekly order block here. Below that, between 50 and 48.5, important support resistance area and the value area high of a volume profile of this range. And it is a nicely respected volume profile indeed. Resistance, support, breakout, little bit of a retest here. So this weekly order block is very interesting, close to the value area high as well. And then the channel on the weekly time frames, go to the log chart. Closing a candle inside the channel increases the probabilities to hit the midline. Doesn't mean we go down to hit the midline. Even if you continue ranging sideways, the midline has potential here for a 5-wave, 1, 2, 3, escaping out of the channel, 4 and a 5, right? The midline, always an interesting target once you re-enter a range. That being said, probabilities on the weekly time frame remain higher for continuation of the trend and new all-time highs. On the daily time frame, however, we are now reaching interesting target areas. For example, for the zigzag, we have now touched the 1-to-1. This is a target for a wave C. And that means that now here, it starts to be interesting to look for signs of strength, signs of support, to turn around and see strength and price moving back towards the upside. Now, with regards to additional support areas, you just saw when I opened some of the other confluences here, we just missed out on filling the gap, right? 53K. We didn't yet hit the value area high area here as well, between 50.5 and 48.5k. We just missed out on hitting the channel midline. But if I open all of my folders here with additional support resistance areas, then you can also see we have a bit of a like confluence here around 51.8k, in confluence with the weekly order block, the channel midline, right? Interesting area. And then we have a couple of more things going on. Where we are at the moment is a relatively empty area. We had one daily naked point of control here, and that is it. I checked it this morning, but it was touched yesterday. I don't know who mentioned it. I think someone in chat. I asked, what was the point of control again at 53 something or 54? Because there was one, but I didn't have it on my chart. And this morning I checked it in Atas. There was indeed a point of control, but it was already touched now. So, so that was the only thing going on here. The confluences arguably are a little bit better to the downside, but we'll have to wait and see, because as mentioned, from an Elliott wave point of view, we are now reaching target areas. Right? So this is the area to look for signs of strength, to look for support, to look for impulses to the upside on the lower time frame, to look for bullish CVD divergences. Of course, if price goes down, no problem. It just gives us an even bigger opportunity to look for long positions, no? But shorts were, of course, ideal as price was moving to the downside. Now we took this low. We are reaching target areas. I'm not a financial advisor, but from an Elliott wave point of view, it's now more risky to look for shorts instead of longs, even though the trend is arguably still to the downside, no? So as a scalper and a day trader, you might be able to like trade everywhere, but as a swing trader, it's of course not a great area. That being said, we zoom in and I open my target boxes. So you can see here, support turned into resistance. We are a bit in the middle of nowhere here, and then the next area of support is 51.6, 52k. Okay. Let's remove this for now. I'm going to open my folders and see if there's anything still interesting in here. So these are simple support resistance areas of the range that we have been in for a long period of time. Nicely respected. And also a folder that I will definitely keep on the chart. Of course, if price can move back above the now resistance, but it was support for a long time area, then we're going to be looking for price to move to the support resistance area in the middle. And the probabilities, of course, are then also a lot higher to move to the upside. So that is definitely an area of interest, 59 to 60.3. All right, so I'm going to keep that one on the chart. This is, I'm going to remove this. This is old stuff, the double 1-2 and then a wave 3 to the downside. That is, of course, your most bearish scenario. Volume not really cooperating. It is still a lower probability scenario. But for now, I will keep it in my folder. So this, by the way, with the bearish impulse, right? Wave 2. 1, 2, and then look for 3 down. Of course, inside 3, you need to count an impulse. So that is the lower degree 1, 2, 1, 2, wave 3 down. But as you can see, the volume is lacking, right? Wave 3 of 3 should have the highest amount of volume. And that is not the case. We have lower volume, so that's not really what you want to see. So the fact that the volume is still not really picking up is still a positive sign for the bulls. This is a bearish impulse scenario. Now on most of the charts, so I'm just checking my folders now and I'm just talking about why I would remove or keep them. So this is your zigzag in more detail, ABC. Arguably your wave B ends here because on most of the charts this is the high. But I do just like to have this as an ABC 3-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning we're looking for an impulse to the downside here, right? From 4 down to 5. This is an impulsive structure. So let's see if we go to the 1 hour time frame. Have a look at the volume. So the volume here has been increasing as price is moving to the downside. So because the volume is in the low, in an impulsive structure, the highest amount of volume is most commonly in a wave 3. So preferably, we're looking for 3, still 4, and eventually a wave 5 to the downside. Now, I also know that volume likes, or a corrective structure, a wave C or a wave Y, likes to end on high volume, which is something to consider because of the 72K downtrend that we have here. A lot of overlap, right? Not a clear impulsive structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Look at all the mess here. Very, very 3 wavy structures on the lower time frames as well. So therefore, a scenario like Samith has is definitely a scenario to at least keep in mind, where all of the waves are 3 wave structures, ABCs. I will highlight this in a bit more detail in a second, but basically what he did is he's counting ABC, and then eventually 1, ABC, and then 2, ABC, and then 3, ABC, and then eventually 4, and then looking for possibly another ABC here for your 5, right? So that is the raw sketch of what he's keeping an eye on. Because I was gone for a few days, I haven't kept an eye on the lower time frames, but I'm happy that other people do, like Samith himself, like Flotty as well. Let me also get that one up here. Flotty. Where is your chart, my friend? So Flotty had this as one of the scenarios here, right? Same thing, also a zigzag. We're reaching the target area for a zigzag as well. Pretty much the same scenario as Samith here as well, right? So you can see the confluence between the two, right? And this is a scenario where you can definitely end a structure on a high amount of volume locally. Right, so this is definitely one to keep in mind. Now let me remove this. I'll make sure to put it on my chart in more detail in a little bit. But now we are discussing this range to the downside. So because of all the overlap that we have here, it doesn't look like a nice, clear, impulsive structure. So I do like the idea of the diagonals. It's expanding, which is not common for sure. But all of the 3 wavy ABCs to the downside do have a good amount of probabilities, because we can't count, like if this is 1, 2, you want to see a very sharp 3, 4, 5, volume significantly increasing, and all we got was overlap. So it's not great. If we end wave B here, right, because on most charts this is the high, we want to count a wave C down, we never really got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If we count a diagonal here locally, which I used to have, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. That is your 1. That is your 2. Then you somehow need a wave 3, 4, 5. In that case, your wave 4, 1 second, pulling a fib from this high to the low of your wave 3, toggling on the 618. It hit the 618. And the 618 is an invalidation for a wave 4, right? It's incredibly low probabilities for a wave 4 to hit this and still be a 4. So they're in a impulse, right? So not in a diagonal or other structures, but in an impulsive structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, common target for 4, 2, 3, 6 to the 05, right? 618 regarded as an invalidation, as the probabilities are so ridiculously low. So therefore, we don't like to count this as a nice impulse, and that therefore increases probabilities for diagonal related structures and 3-wave structures, right? So there's definitely something to say about the scenario of Samith, Flotty, I think Bettina had it on her chart as well. And undoubtedly many of you, right? Feel free to share your scenario in Discord if you have something going on. So yeah, locally, lots of overlap, keeping an eye on the same structures. But on the 1 hour time frame, we have moved down. Highest amount of volume is currently in the low. So from an impulsive perspective, also still potentially having an ABC, for example, it is uncommon for structures to finish with a high amount of volume unless we're looking for C or Y. Now, as just explained, there is the potential for wave Cs, right? Either finished or not, or another move up and down. No? But nonetheless, before probabilities change for the bulls, you need to see clear signs of strength, which at the moment we do not have. No? Also, again, highest amount of volume, preferably in a wave 3, also of a wave A. So we would then be looking for 4 and one more low in a wave 5. We do know we have some interesting support to the downside still as well, right? 51.8 is an interesting area. 53K is filling the gap. We have the channel midline here. 49.5 value area high of the volume profile. 50.5 to 48.5 is an important support resistance area. So we do know we have some interesting support to the downside still. Yeah, we just got to wait and see. So for probabilities to change bullish, you've like on a 4-hour, 1-hour time frame, you would need to see one of three things, and it's too early at the moment. You either need a clear impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you can long the retracement. A diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, long the retracement for at least a 3-wave structure, ABC, potentially a 5-wave structure. Or you need a double 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, see a grind to the upside, bullish CVDs coming in consistently, and then get a 3 up, right? At the moment, price is moving down on an increased amount of volume. Probabilities are bearish till proven otherwise. So, yeah. Of course, it also helps if price can flip some levels that will now act as resistance, right? Spoken about this level here. Spoken about the support resistance area that we have at 60K. This is a big one, no? At the moment, all price has done is just lose levels. Even though the probabilities on the weekly remain higher for upside, on the daily, we are reaching areas of interest now. We are reaching target areas for wave C. So these are in a bullish uptrend on a weekly time frame. Take profit areas, right? No financial advice, of course. You guys, we're on YouTube here. So on a daily time frame, we now start to get interested in price moving up. No? And yeah, that means that locally we want to see signs of strength from an Elliott wave perspective. That means impulse, diagonal, double 1, 2. And then the retracement is going to be the entry. I'm not a person myself. This is a personal plan, personal behavior. I'm not someone that catches lows or catches highs. The probabilities are simply not higher for bulls unless we start to flip some levels, support or resistance back into support, see some of the structures that I just explained. As long as price is moving down on an increased amount of volume, I wait for a range to form, and the range will give me all the information I eventually need to either enter a trade or stay out of it. No? So, yeah. And that's that, no? So, yeah. Those are the probabilities. That is what I am looking for. Seems like we just touched a gap here as well. Right? So we had this is the 15-minute chart. 15-minute gap. Touched. Acting as resistance, quite nice. And that is that. Yeah, and again, Elliott waves, baby. I like what Flotty said in the gold Discord channel earlier today. Let me just Flotty, where is this? Flotty said Where's his post? Oh yeah, can Elliott waves predict the market? All three pictures, the scenarios he had, showed the leg down. Did we know earlier that a sell-off was coming? Strange. Elliott waves can be powerful. Yeah, I love Elliott waves. When so for the people that of course were here in April, March, also later, we have analyzed especially this range in some live streams like many times, right? Can we end a structure at the low? Was the question that I then asked during the live streams. And every time we analyzed it, it's difficult to end a structure at that low. Either we're looking for a 5 waver or the low preferably to be a wave B in a expanding flat. And yeah, I'm happy to see where we are now. Yeah, Elliott waves is amazing. Okay, we started, so it's time for chatting and Q&A. We started the analysis, 1 second, at 14 minutes. Actually, even though I was very tired before the stream on the couch, just relaxing a bit, I actually, like when streaming, I feel more energy. Probably I'm gonna crash again after. Okay, let's just move to a 4-hour time frame. Zoom out here. Wait, oh yeah, I have 2 folders open. Remove this. You want me to? Yeah, let me put the daily naked point of control on the chart that I don't have. That was mentioned yesterday. So 1 second, I'm going to show you how I find my point of controls, which probably is interesting to some of you. I'm just opening the software now, which is Atas, which is completely free, by the way. But I never know on what. Okay, it's opening on my other screen. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to connect to Atas, show you how I look for my point of controls, and then we go into answering some questions. It's loading. Yeah. Loading. Initializing workspace. Of course, I'm live as well. Okay, there we go. There we go. Move it to my other screen, please. Thank you. So this is Atas. Again, it's a free software for crypto, right? If you want to use it for other markets, you'll have to pay. But for crypto, it's free. My templates are in Discord, also absolutely free. And this is the template for the daily naked point of control. So we go to the daily time frame here. And you can see we had a daily naked point of control, the gray line here, at 54,400, which is where we went today. So you can see there's 2 gray lines, but the upper one is the old point of control, 54.4. The point of control of today is 54,375, right? So 54.4K is the daily point of control that we have hit. Acts a little bit of support, right? As we are ranging just above. You can also see other daily naked point of controls that we still have open, right? So 54.4K, I'm gonna add that one to my chart in a second, just to see. We still have a monthly naked point of control at 58.8K, which is the line that you see here, right? That's the purple line, right? And we also have a monthly plus a weekly naked point of control at the same level at 62,850. Of course, that's towards the upside. And here's a few more. Right, so, okay, 54,400. So let me close this down, save it. Yes, please. Thank you. Open the point of controls. drag it, and then of course this one was an older one, 54400. Yeah, so that's the one we've hit here. So this point of control is from the daily candle there, and that is the one that we have hit right now. A little bit of support, so let's keep that one on the chart. Oh yeah, so all the levels around price at the moment, FYI. There you go. You can stop the stream and then check the levels if you wish to. Okay. Having a quick look up here. What have you been talking about? Lay it. Okay, I'll make sure to check it out. CVD locally, yeah, I wait for a range to form. The CVD for me, when a range is too young, is just not too interesting. Also, we're moving down on an increased amount of volume. So yeah, we had a bit of bullish CVD here, of course, with this sharp move down on yellow, which already played out. So at the moment, there's not much going on. You know, CVD moved up, price is moving up. So I'm a very patient trader. I just need to see signs of strength. I need to see a structure. I need to see a range. There is at least some confluence here. Now for scalpers, this is probably interesting. Maybe a Band-Aid is someone that likes to snipe highs and lows as well. So in his strategy and his way of trading, probably with some order flow included as well, he may have taken a long because there is some confluence, maybe some traders that are trapped at the low, some short positions trapped at the low, providing the liquidity for price to have this bounce towards the upside. And we take it step by step because we are reaching levels of interest, of course. For a US viewer, what do you mean, Zello? Yeah, Jackman. Yeah, I guess the alts are in discount. No? Is your fib level logarithmic or only your chart? My chart is not logarithmic. So this is Bitcoin specifically. Everything below the daily is linear, is normal chart, so log is off. Above the daily, I use log, right? Because the percentage moves become too big. 1% at 15K is different than 1% at 60K. So you want to correct for that difference using the log chart, which makes it most interesting on higher time frames. But you can also use it on alts when they move a lot of percentage, even on the lower time frames. You want to use the log chart and correct for that behavior. With regards to my fibs are always on log because it doesn't matter for the lower time frames, the linear chart, but it does matter on the higher time frames. And I'm too lazy to every time change it because every time you go to a weekly time frame and you pull a fib, you then need to go to the fib, check the box, right? So you put a fib on the chart and you then have to go to the settings, style, and then you have to check this box fib levels based on log scale. I'm just too lazy to do that. And also locally, if you pull a fib here, there's barely any difference between using the fib in log or not using it in log. It's literally like a few dollars. So it doesn't do anything. So I'm on a linear chart now. So if I just pull a fib and I quickly have to go to log, 1 second to turn this off, right? And then move it off. So now it is 55,486, right? And then let me go back and turn log on and go to the linear chart, 55,486. I mean, there's not even a difference between having the log fib here locally. So that's why I always have log on my fibs because on the linear scale on the lower time frames, it doesn't do anything. But it will save you time when you work on different time frames. ZV, like and subscribe. Thanks for your lessons. Best regards from Russia. What's up, ZV? How you doing? Thank you. And thanks for motivating others to do what you've done yourself. And hope you're doing good in Russia. Welcome. Also, your first message, I believe, here. Milo, good to have you here. Bettina, what's up? Sam, everyone coming in. Are the probability higher or lower that the low is in? I pretty much explained this or answered this question. Of course, if there's still a similar question, make sure to ask. Looking a lot more fresh today after some good rest. Definitely I had a good night of sleep, but I'm still tired. Earlier today, before the stream, I was hanging on the couch. My mom arrived as well, so we were chatting, and oh boy, man, it like hit me like a bus. But now that I'm active, yeah, I get energy again. It's the same when doing sports. I love doing sports. Quick email needed. How are you doing? Welcome. Yes, Ali, it's a big problem in the industry. So I would recommend to just remove DMs, turn them off. If someone wants to DM you, they can first talk to you, tag you in the Discord group, like, hey, I want to send you a DM, maybe because you're engaging conversation together. But I very much recommend to just have DMs off because it's a incredibly scam heavy industry, which, just save yourself, turn them off. Yeah. Are you going to trade or not? You mean live, not in the stream? No, I'm an analyst on. Of course, I'm a trader, yes, but I don't do live trading on YouTube. So and also at the moment, I was in France the last few days, which doesn't make it easy to trade. I took one trade, which was a short, but I'm currently in no position. The short was in profit. I closed in profit before I jumped into an airplane. So, yeah. Tarun Mirpuri, I finally got the letter from the post office. The hat has arrived. How much the duties are. Well, I paid for everything, so I can't imagine there's duties, no? Because with the t-shirts, the hoodies, and the caps, I, of course, paid the sending the package and the package size and the duties, and everything should be taken care of. If not, Tarun, you send me your bank account with a picture of the duties, and I'm gonna send you the money. The people that want a giveaway should not pay for what they got, Thank you, Mark. Volume cluster below price. Why does it always stop at Mickey Mouse support levels? Yeah. Could you suggest any trade? I pretty much explained what I was looking for. So of course, as price here was moving down with bearish CVDs, something I explained the past 2 days. A short was interesting, right? But now we already took this low. We are reaching areas of interest for potential longs, and at the low here, even though price might go lower, it's of no interest to me. I'm starting to become more interested to look for longs, but hey, if there are clear signs of weakness, I'll enter a short, and if there's clear signs of strength, I'll enter a long. I look at more than just Elliott waves for my trading. But at the moment, this range is still very young, the one that we have here locally. So I'm either looking for a bigger bounce or a bigger range, and then I'll take it from there. The weekend is coming up as well. And of course, with the weekend, most commonly, it creates a sideways ranging structure. That is most commonly because, let's see, the last few weekends we had. So this was the last weekend. This was a weekend here as well. So you can see this was weekend price action. This was weekend price action. And yes, this was weekend price action. So you can see during the weekend, price likes to range, it's mainly the action happens in between the week, the weekends, no? So during the week, Monday to Friday, when the markets are open. So yeah, the weekend is coming up. It is the final day before the weekend hits. and most commonly we go sideways. So yeah, it will be interesting to see where we end, and then yeah, you would expect a sideways range. So trade the range until it breaks. I remember you were telling that almost every update. Yeah, the ABC zigzag. Yeah, true. Of course, like the moment price moves up and you talk about scenarios like these, people think you're crazy. Of course, we also have bullish scenarios, but I was never happy with the low we got here, and now I'm happy because we came back again. Sibel, how you doing? Sibel, by the way, everyone, found her way into Discord. I saw general chat. Oh, I saw, hello, there we go. General chat. I saw what was happening here. Sibel, figuring out Discord, found my way in the chat. So and Rostam in the group as well. So you might recognize some names in Discord that you see on a daily basis on YouTube as well. But Sibel, welcome to Discord. Right? Good to have you here. 15 push-ups. Germany crashing the market. Give me a heavy channel. What's the CVD like locally? With this, yeah, so I explained. CVD is not yet interesting. I would need more information. Arguably, we now have some bearish CVDs, lower high, higher high, but it's too early. This range has not. It hasn't actually really developed into a range yet. We don't have a solid bounce to the upside or a clear impulsive structure, or so it's when price move down on increased volume. Waiting for a range to form is always going to be the Elliott wave tip. And then the range will give us all the information we need. Is an expanding diagonal correction the best scenario for you now on the daily? The expanding diagonal correction. It is one of the scenarios that is definitely interesting, yes, because of the overlap that we have here. Lots of overlap on the lower time frame. So yes, it is a scenario that's interesting. I'm also, and this is something I'll have to probably have a look at during the weekend at some stage. I'm still interested to see if there's a potential 3-wave in here instead of a 5-wave, but because of all the overlap going on here and quite a big range in the middle, this range is then preferably either counted 4 or B. So you're looking for ABC or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And with a diagonal, because the thing with a diagonal is you actually want to see overlap between a wave 1 and a wave 4, which we don't have if we look at the diagonals that were shared in the group earlier, where I think people had no, because I think this was the low of people's for wave 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not too sure. But still, this low here did not create overlap, interestingly. Now, it's not a requirement to have overlap, but yeah, I would off stream need to put a bit of time in detailing this structure, but there's a lot of overlap here. So yes, a potential diagonal is definitely an option, but I'm also still considering a zigzag move. Of some sort. So I should say a zigzag family structure, I suppose. Yeah. And what we can do, maybe Sunday is altcoin stream. Tomorrow, I think if I can upload tomorrow, because I'll be helping my dad moving stuff, it will be in the evening. But if we do, what we can do is just reanalyze this range again, zigzag, flat, triangle, WXY, and then just tick the boxes. Yeah, a triangle. I mentioned this in the past weeks. Triangle, very low probability. I don't get it. Why a triangle? People love looking for triangles, but it's so low probability. But yeah, anyway, it's invalidated. So Of course, we have you have a zigzag, you can have WXYs, you have the triangles, or you have the flats. Now, a flat was never valid. A triangle, in my opinion, was also never an option here. That's why I always said it was very low probabilities. And then you had the WXY and the ABC. And I prefer the ABC as it's a simple corrective structure compared to a WXY, which is complex. And generally, it's best to first look for the simple structures before looking for the complex ones. But that means you need a 5-wave structure down here. And due to all the overlap, yeah, a potential diagonal is an option. Or you have still a diagonal here, and then you look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like just a regular impulse, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. The only rule in an impulse is that wave 3 is not allowed to be the shortest. So even if you count this somehow 1, 2, and this is 3, perfectly fine. And then you still need a 4 and a 5, no overlap between 1 and 4. And wave 5 has to be shorter than your wave 3. So yeah, I preferably look at this as an impulse compared to a 3-wave structure. So that means diagonals or impulsive structures. Now the subwaves, it takes a little bit of work. We would need to have a look on the lower time frames. The Camarara pivots. I'm actually unfamiliar with Camarara pivots. But I personally use time frame horizontals, I use volume levels, I use volume profile, and other like volume related tools, including CVD, which is the only indicator, in my opinion, the best indicator out there by a mile. Now, if you don't know anything about CVD, for little typo, Koenz. I never made. What do we get if we? Koenz. We don't get Koens. Okay. Oh well. Not big enough yet. So if we go to YouTube and you scroll down, I have a video about CVD here, right? And by the way, or you just go to videos and click on popular. There you go. This is the video you want to watch. So it's it's an amazing tool, man. I love CVD. Best indicator, in my opinion, out there. But that's, of course, a bias because I use it. And I also used RSI in the past and MACD and all of the other stuff. But nothing comes close to CVD for me. What's up, Rostem? Rostem always sharing his plan and his analysis in the comments as well. So keep an eye on the comments of Rostem. It's always interesting. The 15-minute. Yeah, we didn't really have a look at the 15, just waiting for a range. Pretty much covered the 1 hour here, moving down on a high amount of volume. Also, waiting for a range to form. It's too early to be bullish. Probabilities are higher for the bears until proven otherwise, really. So I need to wait for a range. Wait for either 3 impulsive structures up, right? Diagonal impulse or a double 1-2 to start being bullish, flip some levels. But on a weekly time frame, probabilities are higher for the bulls. On the daily time frame, we are reaching the target areas now, right? So those are the take profit areas. So we are starting to enter areas where longs become interesting. Now, more locally, we just need to wait for a range to form to reanalyze probabilities. We have a small little point of control here, acting as support, right? And 51.8 has even more support. We still have the gap, filling the gap at 53K as well. So yeah, just give price some time. $63,800. Afshin, let me give you a tip, because this is literally what I do myself as well, right? Oh, by the way, on the 1 hour hunter, I guess that's at least interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is invalidated. So if we look for an impulse down here, then preferably that one is finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the potential at least for a bit of a bigger bounce, but I need to see some signs of strength, starting with flipping some levels. On the 1 hour chart, right, Afshin, there's a lot of overlap here. So what I like to do is, instead of wasting time trying to count every small little move, I look at volume and I look at 618s, right? With Elliott waves, you don't need to know every single 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour structure. It's about the context. So on the daily time frame, things are very clear. Locally, we had price moving down, ending on a high amount of volume, right? So in an impulse, preferably, you're looking for this structure here to be part of a wave 3. Because in an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by far most commonly, the highest volume is in your wave 3. And now you want to see a 4 and a 5. Which means that it is very interesting to have the 618 on the chart. Because the 618 is an invalidation for a wave 4. Now the highest amount of volume is in this leg to the downside. So arguably, what we then have to do is pull a 618 from the high before this leg down, 56.7. Now, to be a bit more safe, I generally like to use some higher pivots, right? So the 618 is a bit higher, giving a bit more confidence that a wave 4 is invalidated. So that is what I do. I'll just keep an eye on the 618 instead of trying to count all of the rubbish that we have going on here. So potentially there's an ABC and you finish C, you end on a high amount of volume, and yeah, you move back towards the upside. Let's see, let me have a look at this. Can we still have a flat in here? No, low probabilities for a flat. In other words, A, B, and then C to the upside has low probabilities. In other words, if you do move up, low probabilities, it is a wave C. High probabilities for either a wave A or a wave 1, because price touched the 1.618, which is a rare target for a wave B in an expanding flat. So yeah, so you don't have to have full clarity on a low time frame count. Also, counting this will take me more time than just the time I dedicated during the live stream, because I was gone during the drop, because I was in France. I didn't have the time to stay up to date with what's happening here. So of course I therefore was active on more higher time frames. Yeah, this is what I look for. I just keep an eye on the volume. We touch some support, keep an eye on the 618, look for invalidations or confirmations, and that is what you can trade, right? Because moving down on increasing volume, generally wave 3 price action, you look for another 4 and another 5, but wave 4 is not allowed to hit the 618. If you hit the 618, probabilities decrease or invalidated pretty much. You're looking for another 4 and 5. So that means you're going to be looking for different structures, either a finished impulse even, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somehow locally, a 3-wave structure. That depends on the retracement, right? You still have the potential A, B, C. So in other words, if you do get a range or a move up, that move up should either be an impulse, a diagonal, or a double 1, 2. And then the retracement, that's the long. So I don't care about not longing the low or shorting the high. I want to long or short probabilities and grab that middle like 60%. That's what I like to see. So, and at the moment, the probabilities simply they haven't really switched. Right? It's very young range. Yes, we have some support, but take it level by level, step by step. Yes, Sam, I do. When is the trading video tutorial coming? Trading video tutorial. I've never spoken about a trading video tutorial, but I suppose you're interested in it. GTO, altcoins is for Altcoin Sunday. Good morning, Gia Jun. Welcome. Good to have you here. Tim, what's up? Hoe gaat het, kerel? Oh. I'm slow, I see. Yeah. No, I don't do anything trading related. I don't want to influence anyone on live streams nor my video content. Only for the sake of explaining how to trade demo on TradingView, but I won't do anything serious. Everyone should trade for him or herself. Rob, how you doing? Ah, I see. British Swedish guy. Yeah, it's smart when engaging in online communities, you know. I mean, arguably, most of you know my name. But yeah. Cheers, Jack. I'll just call you Jack. Yeah. Do you pay more attention to yellow or blue? Both at the same time. It takes a bit of practice, but both are important. And then it's about context. So when you're at support or resistance, do you see bullish or bearish CVD on one of the lines? And of course, if you're at support, preferably you see bullish CVDs, no? But it takes time to read the CVDs efficiently. But I use both. They're both as important to me, and they both play out, and they both sometimes get invalidated. It's just all about the context and how you use it. Is it worth doing an altcoin stream? I mean, I guess that now it's even more interesting to do an altcoin stream on Sunday. We are hoping for the highs first before the lows. Many ideas got invalidated. CDMs, you're talking alts or you're talking Bitcoin? People love looking for triangles because they're easier to see. Yeah, unfortunately, it's... but yeah, I mean, this is just a transfer of wealth, right? Knowing like a triangle is an Elliott wave structure. So you need to know the rules instead of just drawing the trend lines, of course. But yeah, of course, even analysts fall for it, counting WXYs in a wave B, and then having a triangle as a high probability scenario. Interesting. What's up, FYR? How you doing? Hoshi, what's up? Hit the 05. Where to find potential reversal, if any? TLDR. We are now reaching interesting areas of support, FYR. So we reached the target area for wave C. Right, the 1-to-1 to the 1.236. Hit the daily naked point of control. And below, we have some more support. First of all, 53K, ending the weekly gap. 50.5 to 48.5 is an important support resistance and weekly value area high. We have the channel as well, the midline here, crossing the 1.236. And we also have the blue box, 51.6, 52K. And then below that, 49.1, 49.7. So yeah, we are reaching areas of interest. And the thing is, of course, from an Elliott wave point of view locally, before probabilities locally turn bullish, you need to see one of three bullish impulsive structures, especially as price has just continued to the downside all the time without showing any signs of strength. Now, what we do like to see is a little bit of bullish CVD. So we have a green candle, but CVD here is moving down. That is a bullish CVD divergence, a bullish in-candle divergence. Now the candle is not yet finished on the 15-minute time frame. It is finished on the 5-minute. CVD has played out the moment you take the high of this 5-minute candle. So it's not like, oh wow, it's a really big CVD divergence, but at least it is something that is good to pay attention to. So the probabilities locally with a bit of bullish CVDs would be higher to possibly look for the high, right? It's a bullish CVD. We already had a bullish CVD earlier here, but this one already played out. Yes, we also have bearish CVDs on blue, lower high, higher high on blue, right? Keeping an eye on the 3-minute time frame here. So we have a lower high on price, higher high on blue. That's the bearish CVD. And then we have a higher low on price, lower low on yellow. Now we do have a bit of a local uptrend. So yeah, it's interesting. But this is all, it's like mierenneuken. Like it's all so low time frame. It's interesting. bit of volume incoming here as well. I just from a Elliott wave trading personal point of view, I just wait for a range to form or wait for a bigger bounce, and then the retracement is going to be what's most interesting to me. So yeah. Yeah, didn't. This question has been answered. It's experience, guys. So just like any indicator, you need to have screen time with it. All right. So you choose it based on the context, and the context depends on your technical analysis and the other tools that you use. All right. So I use both of these, but of course, feel free to always change it if you wish to. Some volume coming in. Price can also touch the local 886. So besides the bullish CVDs that we have, which is interesting because we have a local uptrend, price touching the 886 increases the probabilities to take out the high. Now, because locally we touched this gap once, we are then going to hit this gap for a second time. Now, that generally, from a gap trading perspective, increases the probabilities to fill the gap. And the high of the gap is 56.666. The number of the devil. Nice. Yeah. I did explain what yellow and blue is in the video. I said that blue is aggregated, yellow is Bybit. Now, the only reason I use that is because back in the day, back in the day, I started on Bybit. I don't anymore. I trade on BingX. Link in the description if you're interested. But I got used to these CVD lines, so naturally I just stuck with them. But it takes time, but it's all about the context, right? But it's an incredible tool, but it takes time to learn, like anything. So when you're at support, you see bullish CVD. That's more interesting than when you're at resistance and see bullish CVD. Yeah? Do you ever use trend lines? I don't use trend lines really as a tool. I would only use trend lines in combination with Elliott waves to show a structure. So I would put a trend line on the chart just to show, hey, we're looking for a diagonal or we have a triangle. Like in that case, I then put a trend line on the chart, but it's not like the way people would trade trend lines generally, I would imagine. So it's just to show structures. Ali, I press control. Have fun, Mark. I press control because the control is the shortcut of the magnet. As you can see here, in orange, it says CTRL, control. So the moment I press control, I have a tool here. The moment I press control, you can see it becomes blue, right? And you can see that my horizontal cursor line is going to be attached to the candle low or the candle high, right? Cheers, Pixel. Happy to do it. It also gives me energy to be live. Thanks, Pixel. Average Kato, how you doing? Thanks for being here. First message as well, I think, actually. But I'm doing good, thanks. A little bit tired still. Oh, a trading view tutorial. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do soon is probably move everything over to the index chart. And I will do that live on stream so that everyone, because I have to start from zero, everyone can see how I manage my trading view object tree and how I put things into place. Yes, but the fact that the charts took the high doesn't matter for the 886. So we take a fib from the high to the low, and it doesn't matter for 886 probabilities that you took out this high on some charts, and on some charts you didn't. It's just about the 886 is hit, rare for 2, common for B or wave X, increasing probabilities any move down is corrective, increasing probabilities to sooner or later still move up. So the fact that the second high here took the first one is not relevant. Can you explain more about the 886 touch at the high? Because of some charts to take the high, it could not. Yeah, so 886 probabilities are irrelevant to the highs in particular here. It's just about touching the 886, which we have done, of course. Yeah. Also blue went down, by the way, so we had a green candle but also blue moving down. So also in blue, in candle bullish CVD. Next one up, green candle at the moment, still blue moving down. Interesting. Also yellow. But oh, did we touch that 886 by the way locally? Not yet. Oh, we didn't yet touch the 886. Oh, where's my chat? Good point, Pixel. Good point. But the wave 4 of a smaller degree, let's see. I mentioned it this morning. Oh, yeah. 49.2. Yeah, that would be this high in that case. Yeah, still a bit to go in that case. Yeah, wave 4. So that's a guideline in Elliott waves. Wave 4 of a higher degree tends to retrace to a wave 4 of a lower degree. So it's not a rule. What the hell? It's not a rule. It's a guideline. I think somehow my phone made some noises I've never heard before, but that's, I guess, because the battery is full. I always have all of the noises off on my phone, so that was interesting. But yeah, at the moment, I mean, probabilities remain higher for. So you got to be aware of the time frames, but on a 1 hour, 4 hour, arguably 4 hour daily time frame, no, weekly, bullish, daily, we are starting to reach target areas now, so we can look for some proof of support. On a 4 hour time frame, probabilities are higher for the bears unless you start to flip some significant levels or see an impulse diagonal or double 1-2 to the upside, and then you can trade the retracement, right? So we literally lose level after level after level after level. Now we have moved down on an increased amount of volume. So that means that from an Elliott wave point of view, the best thing to do is to wait for a range to form, which is what we're working on right now. And then locally, we can keep an eye on, hey, you know, are there some interesting stuff happening, ranges, some touches, fib touches and whatnot. But it's still very early, and the weekend is coming up as well, which generally is a sideways ranging structure. So if price moves up here, that's absolutely fine, because we're going to be counting this as impulse, diagonal, or double 1-2. If we cannot count it as either one of these three, we're going to be looking for price to continue its way to the downside again. So waiting for a range is just that's the best thing to do, in my opinion. Also correct. Jay-Z, welcome. Do you place a trade on your second while streaming? Wonder if you miss a trade due to stream. No, I manage my stream time accordingly to my trading. Also, I'm not someone that really, I don't even trade every day. So I'm more of a day trader, swingy day trader, you know. So if there is an opportunity during the stream, I will take it. But no one knows because I of course have my chat on the second screen as well at times, and that's also where my trading window is. So of course, if I do this, you know, people may think I'm looking at chat, but I might do something else. Rudy, welcome. Mierenneuken is to nitpick. Oh yeah, good one. Cheers, Rudy. Yeah, after this correction, Afshin, Alimos, cheers, mate. But yes, Afshin, after this correction, as the moment you hit an 886, the probabilities are higher. Any move away from the 886 is corrective. So not a wave 3, but a wave C or a wave Y or something else, which therefore means the probabilities are higher to then come back up and take the double top that you left behind. Because if you want to change market structure, you need to see an impulse, a diagonal, or a double 1-2. You need to see an impulsive structure. If you count a corrective move, or the probabilities are higher for a corrective move, you're going to be looking for continuation. Just to make things visual, Afshin is learning at the moment. So if we have a downtrend and we want to see price moving back up, what you want to see is either a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure retracement, long trade. This can be a wave C for then a move down, or this is a wave 3 continuation to the upside. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You have the potential for a diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correction, long trade, same thing, C or 3, or 1, 2, like wave 1, which is a 5-wave structure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a wave 2, and then another 1, and another 2, maybe another, preferably some bullish CVDs, and then boom in 3. So as long as we don't see any of these structures finished, it's difficult to really look for upside. Now, if we cannot count these with confidence, and we see corrective structures forming, meaning the ABC, for example, and price is moving back inside this range, touching the 618, invalidation for a wave 4, too early to call diagonals, double 1-2 is irrelevant. That is exactly what we had here as well, by the way. All of this, probabilities are higher to move down. If we get a 3-wave structure up and a retracement here, right? Yes, we can have a potential W, look for an X and a wave Y, but you're going to be looking for price to continue because this is corrective, not impulsive, right? You can have also a 3-wave A, look for 3-wave B, and then a wave C, right? This is a fake low. You get your C up and then continuation down. So the moment a corrective structure has a higher probability here, you look for continuation down to take the low again. You need to count impulsive structures. Of course, a diagonal can have internal 3-wave structures, a leading diagonal where all of the waves are zigzags. But that means you need to count a diagonal, which only becomes relevant when a wave 4 is in. It's too early to generally call diagonals before a wave 4, so with confidence. So, yeah. Mark, take it easy. I don't know what Saimul means, but first of all, welcome. And if you have any question, of course, feel free to ask. Touching Elliott will invalidate. Not sure what you mean, Bluffy. Touching Elliott, touching the man himself. M58, I'm going out soon. We've been online now for 1.5 hours. And still have to travel after the live stream. I'll go to my parents. So my mom was here earlier to pick up some stuff because, of course, we're moving now, relocating to the south of France. So this house in the Netherlands, everything has to go out. So she picked up some stuff, and I will go to my parents to help them move some things, and especially helping my dad to lift some heavy stuff. Because my aunt is interested in some of the stuff in the house, and she lives 2 hours away. So tomorrow, I'm gonna help my dad to then move everything that my aunt wanted to my aunt. So yeah, I have to go soon. Good evening, VAD. How you doing? Even Nvidia is heading down. The forever bullish Nvidia. Retracement to golden pocket after 886 touch on the low time frame. It's always interesting. I don't think the 886 is touched on my chart here. No. But yeah, the golden pocket touch after an 886 is definitely one to keep an eye on. Baron 2K. That is exactly what corrective or impulsive would mean on lower time frames as well. So that is also why I like to wait for ranges to form, because it gives me more clarity about structures. And then it's going to be, it's just repeating the same game over and over. So what I tend to do is then impulse. Probably if you've been here for a longer time, you see me do this quite often. Diagonal, double 1 2, right? I then make a video or in a live stream. Oh wait, it just lol. Okay, and do I have to press enter or something in case like not to be removed? But what I then do is I just talk about these three. Do we have an impulse? Do we have a diagonal? Do we have a double 1 2? I talk about each structure and then cover the probabilities one by one. But that means I want to wait for a bit of a range to form. So yeah, and at the moment we had some bullish CVD here. We have some bullish CVDs locally as well. Yellow still. So yeah, higher low, lower low on yellow. On blue there's not much. Of course we have the bearish CVDs here. Lower high, higher high on blue. But we did see a little bit of a bullish sign on blue. Green candle, blue moving down. So even though zooming out we have a bearish CVD, we do see a little bit of strength at times. But yeah, it's still such a young range. But if you can touch the 886 here, the probabilities increase to take the high, increasing probabilities to fill the gap. In other words, for price to move up. Pulling the price. Yeah, middle of the trend, like the middle of the channel. Yes. At the same time, of course, if many people are looking, I have no idea what Crypto Twitter does and other analysts because I never watch trading related stuff outside of my own content and the content I make, because I'm so busy with analysis and all of this. I rarely ever watch other stuff, so I don't actually know what's going on. But if an area is too obvious, I'm never surprised that we won't reach it or we just break through it. If many people are looking to long the same area, so that's you know, and 51.8, I don't know, the lower 50s I guess is a popular area. It's a psychological number. We have great confluence, but that might also be the reason why it doesn't hold, or we don't reach it. You know? Okay, everyone. That's gonna be it. So time for me to continue the day. Travel to the other side of the country, helping my parents. Now tonight, therefore, probably there won't be an update, but I covered everything here, and yeah, so it's I can always refer to the live stream. And tomorrow, maybe in the evening I can do something, but I'll be gone for most of the day. So because I'll be helping my dad. So are we gonna move now? Hello, price. Are we gonna touch the 886? Increasing probabilities to take the high, increasing probabilities to fill the gap. little bit of a move up in that case. And then we'll see where we're actually gonna range for the weekend. But well, we'll see. No, we'll see step by step. Of course, now I'm drawn into the. This is I'm interested. 3-minute time frame is not really a time frame I like to. Just touch it already, man. Yeah. Well. You know what we're looking for locally as well. So let's see if we get something now. It's on the edge of touching that 886. Just took the high again. After an 886 touch, it is quite common to move to the golden pocket, but yeah. Price moving down on volume, waiting for a range to form, get some more clarity, keep an eye on the CVDs, keep an eye on the fibs, and then we'll take it from there. So yeah, it's time to move though. So thanks everyone, thanks for being here, thanks for hanging out. You know what we're looking for on all of the time frames. And the probabilities as well, as we have now touched, still not touched the 886 locally. Oh well, whatever. It's time for me to end instead of just keep looking at the chart because I'm interested. So yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. Yeah, T Clepson, it's level by level, so we just take it as it comes, wait for a range to form. We know what we're looking for if we want to switch to bullish charts. We have a bit of bullish CVDs locally. We're literally still about to touch the 886 here, which increases probabilities to take the local high, increasing probabilities to fill the gap. And it's level by level, and then we'll see if anything happens during the weekend, but the weekend is generally a sideways structure. So yeah, Sunday is going to be the altcoin stream. So there we go. We finally hit the 886. So yeah, the alts should be interesting on Sunday. I'll check Discord, T Clepson. Thanks for sharing as well. Bonjour. Bonjour. Okay, everyone. I'm going to speak to you later again. Enjoy your day. Trade safe. Weekend coming up as well, right? And I'm again gonna see you soon. If you have any questions, comment below the live stream or in Discord. Just tag me and I'll have a look. But yeah, I'm gonna catch you again at a later stage.